Ms. Boyer, roll call, please.
Ms. Cato? Here. Mr. Hookrattle?
Here.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Shook?
Here.
Dr. Ward?
Here. Everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item D, recognition. Do we have any, Ms. Boyer, do we have any recognition? Okay. Item E, public participation at board meetings. We always provide some time for anyone from the public to address the Board of Education. Is there anyone in our audience that is wanting to do that? Okay, none seen. Item F. Mr. Shook, are we going to stop for item F, or are we going to?
We could get it and sit down at the seat, then let him do his. Looks like he's got a presentation.
Yeah, I think we have two. Yeah, we have two. I think that's.
I'll be fast.
We'll be fast.
Is everyone?
You want to just bring our cake up here and eat it as we're listening, or do you want to?
Yeah, I want to do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Have our
Okay.
your cake and eat it too.
Have your cake
So-
and eat it too.
Okay.
That's what Hooker all
So
about.
we are going to take a short break to get refreshments, and then we were going to jump right back into it. Then.
Mr. Harris had 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Somebody joins, pop us back on.
Okay, we are back. Department presentations. Mr. Tim Harris, elementary principal. Go ahead with your update.
Just real quick on our end of things. I know we talked a lot about instructional practices the last couple of years. We're still pretty consistent in that, but right now we're working really diligently in the MTSS process. And this is help to provide support to any student that might need extra supports. We meet monthly to talk about our students and see what kind of supports we have in place. Are there new supports we need to put into place? Or is there even more that we need to do for that student? So far, it's been going really well. We've had good discussions. Obviously, we're in that beginning process. Where we're headed is that this becomes just a fluid within our day-to-day operations in the building. So it's been really positive so far, and it's gone really well. It's really opened up some good conversations about students that maybe we haven't done before, or at least has a purpose behind. So we're excited about it. I won't go into all the details of what an MTSS is, but it really has been a positive experience so far, and I hope it'll continue to be that way. You already know about ELA instruction, kind of the stuff that we use in the classroom. All this, based upon the science of reading, which is now a state law, which we've already kind of been ahead of the game in some capacity over the last couple years, thanks to the reading team and, Jennifer, now Lori's here. We've had some good progress in our instruction. Right now, on the ALA side of things, we're really just working on fidelity and consistency. We're still building some of the capacity for our staff, but it's definitely in a great place where it's been. So we're definitely heading in a good direction. But with Lori here, we've talked about maybe we need to tweak some of these things at some point and really look at the necessity of what needs to be taught about just instead of just everything. So good conversations have started, but again, we've done really well in continuing to build capacity in our ELA instruction. For math, we haven't done a lot on math yet. We've done some general conversations. These are the three main programs that we have is Zern, iReady, and ST Math. But we are working on trying to figure out, since we have so many online curriculum, we're trying to figure out the best way to incorporate it, but also have more time away from the computer, which they do a great job of that, but which ones do we really need to focus on and use within the classroom? Again, that's been general discussion. It hasn't been anything too in-depth yet, because reading was the main focus for so long. But I'm excited to see kind of where that goes as we work into it. John and Lee will be here tomorrow with the elementary staff to do some instruction in the classroom, do some observations, and then do some debriefing with the staff as well, which she is our math consultant and does a tremendous job, and everyone loves her. New this year for SEL instruction is the 7 mindsets. As you can see on the right there, it's just a simplistic way to say that we are doing, the 7 mindsets is based upon brain research. So like the science of reading is based upon brain research. This is no different in the SEL side of things. The mindset behind the 7 mindsets is that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what your economic status is. It doesn't matter any of those outside liars. As long as you have a mindset that's positive, you can go places and you can do things. So this piece is a major part of what we're doing. So right now, the Adam H board comes in and they teach this to our students once a week in each grade level. And it's been really positive so far, but you're gonna start seeing more and more of this coming out within the building. We have materials on the way and things to post in the building. So we're excited about that. It's been a good conversation. And we just introduced the teachers at the beginning of this month and they seem to really enjoy it so far. But we're excited to see kind of where it goes. But this is our new thing. We used to do second step, but we kind of got, I don't know, it kind of got a little mundane, I guess is the word for it. And so we decided to make a switch, and this seems to be much more appropriate and geared towards our kids, especially in our K through 4. Recently, we just had our Veterans Day Assembly. It went really well. We had a tremendous turnout. The harder part for us is capacity because we can't let a bunch of people come because with my kids in the building, we're at capacity already. And so we let the veterans in, we put over capacity, even with our kids in there were a little bit over. But it's been a tremendous turnout. The goal for next year, though, we learned is that we're going to try to live stream it for parents through Facebook Live or something like that. Because right now, what's always been done is we might have to do a separate concert, and it's only like 15 minutes or 20 minutes of singing. So we thought maybe next year that'd be our best bet is to do that. Valerie did a fantastic job as always. Tabitha McCarthy, she helps organize. And they did a really nice job. The kids participated. The students were excellent. And the veterans, I think, really enjoyed it. So that was nice. On election day, our 3rd graders got to mock elect down at the municipal building. They actually had some of the candidates come into the building and do some speaking to our students. So that was a neat project for the students to learn about. They got to cast their votes. So it was a really neat experience for our students. The 3rd grade team really worked hard on trying to get our students involved in understanding the mechanics of the election and how it works. That I've had a couple kids tell me it was the best day they've ever had. So that was exciting to hear that as well. 1st grade did their annual marble run where they have to design a marble track with materials and have to explain how the ball goes from one point to another. This is always interesting because you get all kinds of designs. You go through a lot of tape, but the kids really do love it. It's nice to see the students working together collaboratively and having a good conversation, and then trying to explain it is even better. But they did a really nice job. The 1st grade staff always does a good job with that project. The PTO, as you know, there's a bunch of events coming up, but they did get the book machine and they ordered us soccer goals, and they should be coming this week. Yeah, this week to put on the playground because right now the kids kick the ball into one of our benches as their goal. So we're going to try to hopefully give them something more to play with. So we're working on that. The PTO and I have also been talking about working on getting some kind of shade outside, but they're really expensive. So they're trying to brainstorm ideas to help with that as well. But the PTO has been really great for us. They always support us. They always help us with anything that we need. They provide money to the staff for buying supplies, and they'll pretty much do any request that I ask. So they've been really tremendous partner with us for sure. That's it. Any questions for me?
How many slides did you skip to get it?
None. I didn't skip any.
Okay.
I told Tim I'd do it. I told him I would figure it out.
How's the new pickup and
So,
drop
okay,
off?
so it's 100 times faster than even the cars. The one thing I always tell parents is they need to quit coming up and waiting in line for 20 minutes. So that's the only thing that's really the difference is they have to get out of their car, which I know people don't like. But it's faster and it really does move. Cars took about 14 minutes last year. That takes about 7. With the parent pickup and drop off, the buses go out very quickly and they're out the door. They don't have to walk all the way to the back. So it has gone really well and really fast. Most of the people I talk to are like, it's efficient, it works very well. Having people tell me where they came from, they had no organization, so it didn't help at all. So I think we're in a good place with it. As I told parents though, you really don't have to get here at 8:20 and stand out front until 8:40. So that's the only thing I always tell people, like come at the very last minute because we'll be here to get your kid when you come out of the car. So, but yeah, overall it's been pretty good.
Any other questions for Mr. Harris? Okay, we'll move on to item B, which is Lori Coltrane, curriculum director.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So when I was introduced at Convocation, I said that I'm a person that's always trying to improve everything. My husband hates that about me, because that includes our house. And so if I talk that way, it's not that I think there's something wrong. I just always see that there's an opportunity to get better. So I'm trying to just preface that as we get going on this presentation. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about like my first 10 days here. I think I had 2 committee meetings a day for the first 10 days, but that gave me an opportunity to start to know people and build relationships with people. And then the next 35 days, I was trying to figure out all the other stuff. So some of it I'm unfamiliar with, I'm not familiar with. Progress book as an example. I've used the other 2 biggies, but never progress book. So I'm learning that, taking classes for the Title IX and all those things. So I've been doing a lot and trying to learn a lot in that 45, we're going to say to 90 days, because there's still things that come up that I didn't know about, and then I learn. I keep in contact with Jennifer Blackstone. I just want to let you know, we've been texting for the last 2 days about her conference that they have sent here by mistake for tickets, but also some other questions that come up. I do try to learn it first before I contact Jennifer to just get a quick answer, because that's how I learn about your school district, your children, the community, etc. So then I'm going to just go into moving forward, and I want to just talk a little bit about moving forward for us here. One of the things that we're looking at, and I was going to present tomorrow to the administrators behind me at our meeting, but because Mike's gone and those kind of things, we've postponed that meeting. But our BK4, our Battelle for Kids, we've been doing for a number of years here. But this year the price became prohibitive for what they were going to offer. So we've had a lot of conversations about whether or not we continue with them and really just, try to pay that, or if we find other opportunities. And so we've decided not to move forward because of the expense, and then we will be figuring out how we're going to redistribute those teams, because we felt that that was a really strong way for us to collaborate internally, and we don't want to lose that. And then I have been searching amongst all of my friends who are consultants, getting their recommendations for people who are much more affordable for us to come in and work with us. And one person might be really great at data, but someone else might be good at something else. So working that all out.
Will we look to do that as a way to save, or will we look to use the same amount of funds that we used for the Battelle for Kids and get more for our money?
More for our money and using less too. So we can use less money and still get a bigger bang for the buck. Any other thoughts? Questions about Battelle? Okay. There's still a lot that internally needs to, we just need to talk to the building administrators and get I have an idea of how we might do that, but we really want to make sure it's using our teachers in a way that with our sub situation, how do we get more people out of the building on the same amount of subs and that kind of thing. So trying to like split days and working on it that way as a solution. I'm also going to start work soon with the elementary with working with both the building leadership teams and then working with teacher-based teams. And for me, all my expertise goes back to that when we work with teacher-based teams, that's the teachers are where we have the most impact with kids. And so working with them and empowering them through these teams is a very unique way. It's not even unique, but done right, it's unique because we try to use it for compliance across the rest of the state. And so all my studies have been on how not to use it as compliance, but how to empower teachers with it. So begin working with him, and the goal is to work with all 3 buildings throughout this year. We're also, this week, we still have 2 more committee meetings. I have reading and writing coming together as a team. We had a lot of committees, but the reading and writing teams both felt that they'd be much more powerful when they came together, since those 2 skills are so integrated as we teach our kids. And so working together seemed to be a right fit. Many of the writing team members also got to participate in the University of Cincinnati, the Dean's Compact, offered for free a $1,000 course through through University of Cincinnati, but also through this Writing Revolution, which was the book study that Jennifer and the writing committee had already chosen to use as a book study. So it expands upon that kind of thing. And I'm excited about the Land Lab and Makerspace Committee later this week because of the students who will be presenting. And the remainder of our committees will be meeting in late November and early December. And there's also the fact that next year we're going to be doing a math adoption. And just to let you know, so this is, oh, I'm sorry about the pencils. I tried to take the animation out. And it's not showing up. Maybe it's much further down in this PowerPoint. Hold on a second. There it is. So this is the process that I created for curriculum adoption. And it looks very complex, but I think that details really matter when we're reviewing things to make sure that we're getting, we're looking at them as deeply as we can. And because math is the next adoption, this is a lot of manpower, and because it was adopted obviously at a much larger school district, paring it down for here, I just wanted to show you that the colors indicate that either admin are doing something, teachers are doing something, and then the green is when they're both doing it together. So that I truly believe in that collaborative approach to ensuring that we have the highest quality instructional materials available for our teachers at a price we can afford, and that also meet the needs of our kids through a variety of scaffolded techniques and assessments built into the products. And right now, Tim was sort of showing you that there are a lot of different math products available for his, for example, elementary. And as we were rostering through Clever this year at the beginning of the school year, we found out that there were a lot, let's say for elementary, there were a lot of different digital math programs. And what that creates then is we're not using the same language when we talk about math learning. And so we want to just make sure that we can create a consistency across all 13 grades here. We have a really great opportunity to do that. When you're small, you can have those conversations. Which leads me back to our last PD day, which we did do some vertical alignment in the afternoon, and all the different teachers had a place to go to have conversations about vertical alignment with the K-12 groups of teachers coming together for English and science and social studies and math. And the admin team behind me helped lead those, and so I thank them for that work. The last thing I really wanted to talk to you about was the grade card. And what I wanted to point out, and it's sort of hard to see here, but the top half is this year and the bottom half is last year. So we went up in achievement. We earned an extra star in achievement. We also earned an extra star in progress, which sometimes is difficult to do because your achievement might be going up, but not necessarily always growth, and they don't both go up endlessly. But, so that was amazing. And then the gap closing also went up. The two big measures, graduation and early literacy, remained the same, but graduation is a good 4 out of 5 is a great start. And then early literacy, it's sort of stagnant, and mainly because it's cumulative data. So like a kindergartner, actually, each year their data collects into that number. And so if they're not making progress on their reading, then it shows stagnant, and it sort of gives us negative numbers back. It'd be like adding graduation for classes over time. And if you had a couple classes that were struggling, then it brings everybody down and makes it look bad. So early literacy is a difficult number to move, but it is something that I believe that we're on the right track with. The dyslexia plan that we have, our MTSS plan that we have, and working with TBTs, and with all of the other things that are going on for reading, including our letters training and that
What grades are considered early literacy?
grades K through 3.
K through 3?
Yeah.
And so what are we doing like for kindergartners? Because what I hear is if you hit them at the start, you've got a much better chance to have that number be positively impacted as they go forward, as opposed to trying to get a second grader or a third grader to
It is.
improve.
So I know that they have adopted a number of things, including the fact that our kindergarten team serve on like the writing and reading committee so that they can learning new trends. But they are also letters trained now, and working towards that, we use the foundations, and then we, Tim and I have had multiple, we had multiple conversations about how can we make sure that we have the right comprehension piece in place for them. So looking at different ways we can build the comprehension, because that helps us build vocabulary within content, but it also helps them with the decoding. And we also have things like the geodes. So we have all these decodables so kids can, work through that reading on their own and be supported that way.
How many?
To piggyback off that, like,
Yeah.
the course that we have is a lot of the science of reading. So the things that we have in place are what's considered appropriate and all those good things. But she's right, the early literacy is the hardest one to move or to make progress on. And I think that's why all the new mandates have come down, is that a lot of people are in the same boat, their early literacy. So if you look at the big districts, that's typically their lowest score. So I think with the changes and the things that we have in place, we'll start gradually seeing an increase in performance over time. At least that's how it seems to be trending when we look at the iReady data and things like that. But yeah, everything we have is aligned to the science of reading. So that's the foundation that the state now expects every district to use that maybe weren't using it before. So hopefully with that, we'll see, like I said, progress pretty substantially, I hope.
Well, we did, so on our first diagnostic, we did have, like, instead of having like a lower number for kindergarten, what they consider readiness, we hit, iReady shows that we have 73% who are on track. That's a higher number than we had last year, fairly substantial, a higher number. And so we use the iReady score. And the KRA was still like 67%, where before it was more like 47%. So I think it's also about kids coming in ready to read, and that has a lot to do with things outside of our control. Right now, preschool's outside our control. And so
Yeah, how many preschoolers in the district end up in our kindergarten?
Well, let's see. This year, most of the students who participate in the preschool here, most of them are identified in some capacity, right? There are some typicals as well, but most of them are identified. We get a lot of feeders from the local ones, obviously. But I think the last time we checked, it wasn't, maybe half of the group had preschool, last we knew. The nice thing though, and I'm worried about this, is we actually had a preschool reach out to me and asked me about what we do, which I've been trying to get them. I've met with a couple of them, but now this one's really interested about so they can help them be better prepared for kindergarten.
Right.
So I don't know when that meeting is yet, but I know we're supposed to meet on a Friday here in the next couple of weeks to share what we do. Now our preschool here, they do some of the stuff that we do already. They do Haggerty, they do foundations, they do kid lifts, so that we have a good foundation here because we control a lot of that aspect because we're here. But outside of that, like you said, the local ESC typically has a monthly where they invite preschool to come in and learn about what we learn, letters, things like that. But it's a requirement, so attendance can be hit or miss. I have had preschools reach out, which has been really encouraging, so hopefully that'll start a trend here soon.
Yeah, because it's outside of our control, but we can help influence. And so if we, start working with one preschool and just let them share and know what we're doing, then if they're mimicking those same practices, then that should help the kids that are coming into our, and we still have people that are at home raised by families that we don't directly, but we can send mailings home about watch this, use this free resource, things like that. So I know that's something that we've talked about. How do we increase that number of people aware of what we're doing here, not because they're not products, but they're, programs or processes, so that they can also do that with the preschool kids that they have, whether they're at home or in a preschool setting outside of this one.
And how many years of data is this
How many years of data for which part?
for, like, our
So that's for 2 years.
2 years?
So
Okay.
the early literacy score is always like 4 years cumulative. So
Right.
you have those third graders who were kindergartners here, and then we have all that data that adds up. for
And you
us.
said the kindergarten was up
Up this year,
and I
yeah.
just wondered, some of that I'm guessing it's probably with COVID and everything.
I was gonna
You've got a
ask,
lag,
when-
you've got a
when- I hate
lag.
to say it this way,
We're
when did COVID
seeing the
kids
effects of
move on?
that now, where
So
the kindergartners are off,
So the
finally
fourth
getting back on
grade-
track.
Fourth grade group would have been the most impacted.
Okay,
They would have been the ones that went home early.
okay.
Yeah, they would have gone home early. They would have been, yes.
The current third graders would have been like hybrid for
The hybrid
right?
year.
Yeah.
For kindergarten.
So that's still impactful, but the fourth grade group is the most affected, and if you look at the data, it's evident that that
Okay.
is the most impacted group. The third grade group's a little bit higher up than the fourth grade group, but after that, most of the students in K2 will have had all of our new resources and stuff we've implemented on a regular, starting now.
Okay.
So most of the second graders have had Kidlip, they've had Haggerty, they've had Foundations, they've had Terra West, they've had all those consistently, where 3 and 4 are gonna be spotty,
Yeah.
based upon those structure.
So we shouldn't see these things continue to, because of that.
I'm pretty confident,
Yeah.
I
I'm
feel that we are gonna
confident.
make progress.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, especially because it's required, and we're already doing things that are required, it makes me feel like we should be able to see progress. I mean, I can't guarantee a student's gonna take a test and do well on
Right.
it. But I can also say that we have good things in place that hopefully will be supported to give them that.
Any other questions?
Just, do we spend any, so you made the test comment, do we spend any amount of time with those young kids on test taking skills?
So we do
Okay.
build capacity. That's one thing though that we still, like third grade, obviously they really harp on it. K1, 2, we try not to harp too much but they also have to learn how to take it on a computer. There's things they have to learn how to do while they're taking iReady.
Okay.
So they do learn test taking skills, but they really do hit it hard beginning of third grade, especially by, this is how the test will be. This is what it looks like. They take practice tests. So that is something we probably need to look a little bit more into. I don't want to say we need to teach to the test in that sense,
No.
but I understand what you're saying about the strategies. Right.
Well, there's definitely a strategy for standardized testing, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody that's taken a bunch of them knows.
I have zero common sense, I can take a test.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just the problem is with the knowledge story. Our schedule is, with all the stuff we have in place, it's hard to be like, oh, let's do a test taking thing here.
Okay.
But again, it is something that we do hit really hard in third, but it's something we probably need to consider about in second grade especially.
Okay.
Starting that process.
And we have products that simulate the online testing environment as well. So we use Equip in mathematics as part of the Zern, and then we also, the iReady will mimic what a standardized test would look like, even though kindergartners won't see that standardized test until they're third graders, so. Any other questions for me? I'm done.
Thank you very much.
Okay, item 3, discussion and approval of minutes from last October 9th board meeting.
Page 7.
So moved. Top of 7.
Yep. Vote to approve minutes, motion by Mr. Shook.
Second.
Second by Carol Cato to approve minutes of the regular meeting of Liberty Union-Thurston Board of Education held on October 9th, 2023, as printed. Ms. Boyer?
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Hookradle?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Walner?
Yes.
Item 4, monthly financial statements. Ms. Boyer?
All right, we have our monthly financial report. Page 4 is our monthly revenue for the month. We're very close to what we were last year for the month of October. $17,000 difference from last year. Total revenues are up due to property taxes, income taxes, and the state revenue has gone up slightly. On page 5, our current revenue is up $690,249 more than we anticipated. And then page 6 is our monthly expenditures. For the month, expenditures were up compared to last October, which was mainly due to salary increases. And then page 8 is our interest. Still doing good. Page 9 is our percent of the year and our revenue and expenditure. We're at 33% of the year, and this is based on the May forecast. Total revenue is at about 45%, and total expenditures are at 31%. And then page 10 is our income tax. The second quarter, we're up $196,980.62 over last school year. Then you have our bank reconciliation. And then you have the bills that we paid. On page 3, all the way at the bottom, check 101628, October 9th, to Baltimore Builder for $37,057.46. All that came from the general fund. $28,460.90 was for the locker room concession project. On page 4, closer to the bottom, 101646, October 13th, to Village of Baltimore for $30,410.44. That's our first quarter payment for the 3 SROs. $12,903.64 was general fund. $17,506.80 was from the ARP ESSER grant. Then down at the bottom, 101655, October 13th, to Howard's Plumbing for $20,000. That came from the general fund, and that was on the plumbing contract for the locker room concession. There's another one. No, that was it. And then you have the changes in appropriations for the 018, 200s and 300s, and donations. We had $350.64 from micro printing of discount cards for a fundraiser with the middle school principal. $30.99. Liberty Township Community Chest went to food service. That's what I've got.
Item E, vote to approve monthly financial statements. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Sean Hookradle, second by Sean Shook, to approve monthly financial statements as printed above. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hookradle.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Shook.
Yes.
Dr. Walter.
Yes.
Ms. Cato.
Yes.
Item 5, new business financial 5-year forecast. Ms. Boyer?
You have a copy of the 5-year forecast. And I gave that to you early, so you were able to look at it and if you had any questions. I try to be really detailed in it, so you know exactly what I was thinking. And obviously, we've talked to you about most of it, and we've talked to Mike about it, so.
When will the state do another like, calculation of what schools could get? Like, is that the biennium budget? Is that coming up? Or we passed it? We good? You feel like, in other words, right? You feel good with 4, 5, and 6 on this, 2024, 2025, 2026.
I do.
Okay.
They've got some changes that they're thinking of making, but again, we sit right where if they make a change, it doesn't really affect us a lot.
Okay.
And the one big change we were worried about didn't go through, so that was good.
Okay.
Okay, item B, permanent appropriations for fiscal year 2024. Ms. Boyd, do you have anything on that you'd like to speak to?
So I had the general fund with 135,000 getting put more in appropriations. It's mainly got to do with the building of the concession. The costs are higher than we anticipated, and we're still saving a lot of money with our guys doing a whole lot of the work. So that's been really helpful. And then we're going to probably have to buy, well, we are going to have to buy another bus this year. That's just how it is. The 200s and 300s, they bring in their money, they can spend what they bring in. So it just upped it because they were getting close, and that's just what we're anticipating they'll bring in. And food service is up 50,000. She had some additional repairs. And the Title IV, that's up to the government on what they give us.
Okay, item C, student club, club named SALT, Student Athletic Leadership Team. Participants are all high school students that are eligible for this club. Purpose to provide opportunities for student athletes to fully develop their athletic and academic potential by instilling personal integrity, loyalty, perseverance, and pride through educational-based leadership training, conferences, and activities. Estimated income up to $1,000. Item D, service providers, Music Theater International for the contract period of 2023-2024 school year. Performances March 15th through the 17th, 2024. Is that Peter Pan Jr.?
Yes.
What is Peter Pan Jr.?
Okay, well, we had originally approved a different Peter Pan script,
Okay,
and then when she got it, she found she didn't feel it was really appropriate.
okay.
So she went with Peter Pan Jr. It just kind of calms down some of the things she thought might be controversial.
Gotcha. Okay, Peter Pan Jr. it is. Fee of $3,474. Item E, resolution authorizing Meta to issue a RFP, request for proposal, for natural gas services. Is there anything that needs to be said about that?
They go out to bid for
Okay,
us and the other consortium members.
okay.
It's just that time of year.
Okay, item F, vote to approve new business financial. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Walter, second by Carol Cato to approve items in the new business financial section. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Dr. Walter,
Yes.
Ms. Cato,
Yes.
Mr. Hook Rattle.
Yes.
Item 6, new business personnel appointment. Tara Comer, payroll specialist for the district, 1-year contract, step 5, payroll specialist pay scale, effective date October 28th, 2023. Stephanie George, food service, middle school, food service salary scale, step 0, 1-year probationary period per OPC Article 6.01, effective date November 14th, 2023. Michelle Grant, food service elementary school, food service salary scale, step 0, 1-year probationary period per OPC Article 6.01, effective date November 14th, 2023. Angie Landis, payroll specialist for the district, payroll specialist pay scale, step 6, on a part-time as needed for training and support basis, effective date November 11th, 2023. And Josh Miller, maintenance tech for the district, maintenance salary scale, step 0, 1-year probationary period per OPC Article 6.01, effective date November 14th, 2023. Item B, resignations and retirements. Vanessa Donahue, custodian at the middle school, effective date January 1st, 2024. Item C, certified substitutes, and there is a list of those there on the bottom of the page. And then we move on to approve new business personnel. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Sean Shook, second by John Walter, to approve items in the new business personnel section. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Walter?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Item 7, business athletics. I'm not going to read through all those unless you guys want me to. There's a number of items or number of folks in there for winter and spring athletics. Item B, athletic donations. Donation amount of $1,159 from Fairfield Medical Foundation Cancer Awareness Fundraiser donated to the football team. And $600 to LUABC fundraiser payout to the baseball team for a total of $1,759. Item C, vote to approve new business athletics. Do I have a motion? Motion by Carol Cato, second by Sean Shook, to approve items in the new business athletics section. Ms.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle?
Yes. Abstain.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
You shot me eyes.
Yeah.
Big time.
Dr. Walter?
I just do that too. I didn't like have to check. I'm like,
I was there.
I
I was tired.
just heard a silence go
I
over.
was like, no, he did not.
Item 8, new business other. A, GCL E2 Certified Staff Development Opportunities Course Verification Form, second reading. Item B, memo of understanding with Zane State College, College Credit Plus 2024-2025. Item C, data sharing agreement with Zane State College. Item D, early gratification requests. Item E, tech disposal. Item F, vote to approve new business other. Motion.
Second.
Motion by Carol Cato, second by Sean Hookrattle, to approve new items in the new business other section. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hookrattle?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
yes.
Dr. Walter?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Item 9, other matters as may properly come before the board. Are there any? Okay. Item 10, executive session. An executive session is requested by the, is there one by the superintendent? Is there anything that we need to discuss in regards? I know Mr. Hookrattle has a request for executive, but I didn't.
And I had a
Yes,
request.
What's that? Okay, so we will go into executive session for A, 7, and 8, and also item B. And then, April, did you have something from Dr. Johnson that is other than this?
No.
Okay. Okay, so, vote to enter executive session. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Walter, second by Sean Hookrattle, to move into executive session for the reasons stated above, which were A, 7, and 8, and B, at the time of
7:42.
7:42 PM. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shook?
Yes.
Dr. Walter?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle?